Welcome back to Live With, brought to you by Apollon Nutrition. Visit apollonnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guests are good friends of mine from way back when. He's the owner of Apollon Gym and Apollon Gym Nutrition Products. My good friend Rob Samborsky, along with Rich Vellucci, his marketing director. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, Dave.
Thanks for having us, Dave.
Now, Rob, the last time I saw you, you were not this sucked out in the face, and that's because you went from kind of bodybuilding back to your roots, which was fighting, MMA fighting at the age of 40, and you're 43, and you're going to Thailand, you're fighting all over the world. What prompted this I guess getting back into pugilism?
Well, as you know, Dave, a couple of years ago, I used to promote New Jersey shows, and I used to judge NPC shows. I was doing contest preps, running Apollon Gym. But after a very well-publicized falling, basically we had our differences with the late John Kemper. And at that point, I said enough is enough, and I walked away. I was bored. I had nothing to do, but I felt like I was still in good health. And the trainer just wanted to become, an athlete again. And I was always fascinated by fighting, and I used to fight when I was a teenager. I used to box. So I have a very good friend by the name of Dan Morgliotta, who is the well-known MMA ref, UFC ref, Bellator. And he's also a Muay Thai instructor. So I said, I've never done Muay Thai, I've never done kickboxing, but I've boxed. So at 36, 37, we started training. And being, me, I'm very competitive as a person. I decided, why don't take up a notch and fight? 6 weeks before my first fight, I tore my quad. Oh. At that point, it was basically said that I will never be able to fight, and I was done. But again, being stubborn and being competitive, 7 months later, I did end up in a ring. I did lose the fight, which, I still have a phobia about it because I had so many people in the audience. I had so many friends, family, everybody. And to me, it was embarrassing. The way I lost, to me, it was a huge letdown. I was battling depression. I was very, very upset. And I said, I'm never going to fight again. But then I started hearing a lot of, oh, he's too old. He's not good enough. He's this, he's that. But the worst part about it was the fact that my daughter witnessed some of those things. And I just couldn't bear the thought that this is the way I'm going to go out. So I just decided, I'm going to continue. I continued, and so far, 7 fights, 7 wins. And, recently I did lose in a quarterfinal in Italy at the World Championship. But I did pretty good. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm proud about myself, especially considering my age where everybody is already long retired. I still feel like I'm getting better and better. And I had to drop a lot of weight because you know me from the day when I used to be 220 to 25.
Yeah, sure.
Now fighting at 155 to 165 is completely different. The last fight might have been my last one. I don't know. Like, I'm taking some time off right now, concentrating obviously on Apollon Nutrition because I have Rich and Alina running the company basically for me. But, it was time to step up and actually do the work myself and as a team. So right now, Apollon Nutrition and Apollon Gym obviously is my main focus. And as for fighting, we'll see.
At 43 years old, when you get out of a fight, especially a fight where, there's a lot, sometimes you fight and you beat the guy pretty handily. But if you fight and you're getting hit, I mean, what do you feel like the next day? Does it feel like you got, got into a car accident? I mean, I can't even imagine how your body must feel at that age.
Yeah, I mean, when you're inside the ring, you don't feel shit. I mean, literally, it's just the adrenaline is pumping and you don't feel pain whatsoever. In Italy, I didn't get hurt at all. So it was kickboxing is slightly different from Muay Thai. Muay Thai is pretty brutal. Right. But in Thailand, I walked away with a few bruises. My main thing was actually when I knocked out the guy, I twisted something in my forearm. So my wrist was really, really hurting me for a while. But again, during the fight, I felt nothing. Same thing happened in Italy 2 years ago. I fought in a semifinal of the World Championship, and I knocked the guy out with an overhand right. But while celebrating and making it to the semifinal, I won in a quarterfinal. Sorry. We realized that, again, my wrist, I always have problems with my wrist, was swelling up pretty badly, which I did not feel during the fight. So it was pretty bad. I had to pull out of the next fight.
Wow.
But yeah, you don't feel anything during the fight. It's after the fight where the pain really comes.
All right, so let's talk about Apollon Gym, because I know you purchased that gym about 10 years ago. I believe I might have been there right after you bought the gym. You brought me in. I know I've done seminars there.
You did the very first seminar for us, and I think we were among the first one to carry Species Nutrition.
You were right in the beginning when I first launched it. But I remember going there. This was, I think, in 08, and I loved the whole hardcore atmosphere you have there. You kind of resurrected it. You bought it from someone else who had bought it from someone else, and you brought back that whole hardcore atmosphere. And I think that was something that was missing, and it's still kind of missing. You've had very few gyms that have that hardcore thing going on, and you had it, and you sold hardcore products for many years. You've had a lot of pros go in and out of those doors over the years. I know Dennis Hobson still trains there. Guy Sister Nina loves to come there and train, and among other guys there. I know Panix Pierre trains there. So everyone knows your gym pretty much is a hardcore gym. How do you make money from a hardcore gym in today's marketplace, Rob?
Well, to be honest with you, and the bottom line is there is no money in hardcore gyms. So whoever wants to start a hardcore gym, I always tell them, think twice before you do it, because the investment is pretty solid, but the return is minimal. Because don't forget, even though we bought the gym, I think with 165 members, it was a dying gym. And you remember, everything was torn apart. Right. I mean, all the upholstery, everything. Right now, we are probably at about 1,300 members or something like that.
Nice.
So, which is for our gym, for a small hardcore gym, it's a lot. So yes, we are making money. We are making profit. We are definitely still growing, despite the fact that ever since you've been there, Retro Fitness opened, Workout World opened, LA Fitness next to us, Zap Fitness. So you have a lot of fitness facilities, the mainstream facilities, which, everybody, when they talk to me, they expect me to talk shit about them, but I'm not going to. I mean, because the reason is there's a market for everybody. It just happens to be that our crowd, there is not much competition, because in a vicinity of about half an hour drive, a 40-minute drive, Apollon Gym is the only gym where powerlifters, bodybuilders, fighters, and people just like that kind of old school environment, they can come and train. So, it's a home to them. It feels like family. So that's the reason I think that it survived. But at the same time, I'm not a big fan of people dropping weights and dirty gyms. I'm not a big fan of that. So when people say hardcore, and sometimes they mean filthy, disgusting, there are holes in the floor or something like that, I don't condone that. Right. In my opinion, we don't have pigs working out. We have people working out. And, I want Apollon to be an environment where everybody is welcome. If you like to work out in a certain way, and if you like that type of environment, yeah, Apollon is for you, definitely. But it doesn't mean that, it's only for Guy Cistrino or for fighters or... No. In fact, I'm glad and I'm proud that the type of pros that we have that come to the gym, like Guy, like Dennis, like Panix Pierre, those guys are always willing to give advice. They're always willing to help. We don't have such thing as, I'm a pro, go fuck yourself. No, it doesn't exist. Everybody is welcome. Everybody is the same. Everybody is treated equally. And I think that probably is the secret. Keep the gym clean. Guys, if you own a hardcore gym, clean it up.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask you this question, because you, back when Alexander Fedorov was really, making his, making his name for himself when he was competing against Ronnie Coleman and Jay Cutler, you kind of were friendly with him at the time. I know you brought him over many times to your gym in New Jersey there. You put him up, especially when he made the first comeback. Tell us about that connection. How did you meet Alex, and how did you get involved with him, and what happened with that? Are you still involved with him at all?
Yeah, we were introduced, I think, in 2004, 2005, just before he came to I think, to compete at the Olympia. And we were introduced in Vegas, and we got to talk, and we definitely had, there was definitely chemistry. We became, I would say we became friends.
Right.
And at that point, he was working with somebody else, and I was still up and comer in the sport, so to speak, because, like I said, it was, I think, 2004.
Yeah.
And he asked me if I would come to St. Petersburg and I would work with him. So those famous pictures that he posted of him 300 plus pounds, that's when, I'm not going to take credit for it, but definitely my input helped, I would assume. And he was prepping for, I think, for the New York Pro. So I did work with him. But besides working with Alex, I only worked with him for 1 or 2 shows. We became pretty good friends. He came to Apollon when we had the show. I think you were the MC for the New Jersey Championship, and he was a guest of honor, even though back then he already retired. He was about 220 pounds or something like that.
He was small.
Yeah, he was very, very skinny, and he was not even contemplating a comeback or anything like that. So we always stayed in touch. We always stayed cool. I wouldn't say that we remained great friends, but, we had a good relationship, I would say. 3 years ago, when we came up with Apollon Nutrition, and like I said, the whole line was intended for Apollon Gym customers only, for our members only. Pre-workout and the protein. And again, you helped me out when I sent you the samples. You indicated that we need to improve the taste of our pre-workout. So thank you for that.
What did I say? What was my words exactly to you?
It sucks. I thought I'm going to kill you at the Europa show in Atlantic City.
Yeah, I said it works great, but it tastes like crap. I said, you got to change the taste of it.
Which is true. Which is true. It was accurate, and that's, I'll admit sometimes I don't handle criticism very well, but coming from you, and we always had a great relationship. I consider you a friend.
Yeah.
I took that advice and went back to work, and currently I'm proud of what we achieved. But going back to Alex, what happened was once I noticed that Apollon is taking off and it's selling more than just at the gym, I got in touch with him. Actually, no, he came to compete here at the New York Pro. And I offered him at that time to be part of Apollon Nutrition because even though I couldn't pay him because we were making no money, everything was going back into, it still goes back into the company because we constantly growing. But I told him that, we can probably come to an agreement when it comes to a certain percentage or something like that. So that would make him, so to speak, a partner.
Right.
He turned me down.
Okay.
He turned me down flat out, and he reached out to 3 other companies. I'm not going to mention their name, but all 3 companies turned him down. Mm-hmm. So no hard feelings, and we remained friendly, we remained cool. He went back to Russia. About a year later, I think, I was in Moscow, and he flew from St. Petersburg. He drove from St. Petersburg to Moscow. He took me out for dinner with his manager. We were hanging out, we were talking, and at that point, he says to me, let's talk business. I said, sure. And he noticed, obviously, on social media, the popularity of the brand growing. And at that point, he said to me, you know what, you have the product, I have the name. So you change the name of the company Apollon Nutrition to Alex Fedorov Nutrition, and you invest, but my name, and we'll be partners. At that point, I turned him down because I said, you know what, when I was a nobody, you didn't want nothing to do with me. Now that the company is taking off and you're monitoring it, you want to be part of it. So to me, that was not cool because I value people that were there with me from day one.
Right.
I value friendship and I value loyalty above everything. And everybody who knows me, they know that. I'm extremely loyal, but I expect exactly the same in return.
Right.
He didn't like it. Ever since then, the relationship's been, we barely talk. We didn't have a fight, but we barely talk. We barely socialize. I know he has his own brand, Alex Fedorov Nutrition in Russia. I wish him luck, but that's about it.
Mm. What did you think of his comeback he made the last couple of years? Why do you think he did that, for the brand?
I think that No, because the brand came a little bit later. The brand came maybe 3 or 4 years later after his comeback, or at least 3 years later. I think he just maybe missed the experience, or maybe he thought he can still be competitive with the top guys. And I mean, when it comes to working out, Alex is amazing. He's just, textbook perfect form. His intensity in the gym is great. But I think he is surrounded by a lot of yes men and people that sugarcoat. He doesn't like criticism. He, in my opinion, cannot handle criticism. And that's the reason. I mean, I think the last conversation we had, he told me that he's working with 6 people. I mean, 6 consultants is a little bit pushing, in my opinion, and he worked with doctors, he worked with this, with that. I mean, the reality is, Alex is huge. I mean, when standing next to Rami, I think actually he's bigger than Rami.
He might be, yeah.
But at the end of the day, the torn pec, the wide waist, and lack of conditioning department, I think it's definitely a problem. Whether he will compete or not, he says that he might. I wish him nothing but luck.
All right. Well, that was good. That was a good update on Alex Fedorov, because I think a lot of people always ask me about that, and I know no one really knows him better than you do. So. Especially having the Russian connection with him. But let's talk about Apollon Gym Supplements. Rich, how did you get involved with the company? Give us a little background.
Yeah, so I am Guy Cisternino's training partner. Started training at Apollon Gym about a year and a half ago with Guy. Just developed a relationship with Rob and the rest of the Apollon Gym, Apollon Nutrition team, just by training hard in the gym and being there and socializing and networking. And Rob approached me. He recognized that I had some knowledge on supplements. I trained hard. I did a little competing in the MPC, nothing big, just one show. So kind of knew the business side of things as I'm going for my MBA. I know supplements. It kind of worked out. So I had some extra time on my hands, and he approached me, asked me if I had any interest, and more importantly, the availability to kind of be a consultant / marketing liaison kind of role to help facilitate, their sales side, their marketing, their social media, and just give input in that area, because no one in the company really had the background in that department. In my undergrad degrees in marketing, I've worked in sales since I graduated college. So it just was a good fit all the way around. And so I've been working with the company, part-time, spare time kind of basis since April.
What is your take on, in this day and age, this modern era, social media age, whatever you want to call it? What do you think is the most important thing to properly market your product today that the company should be focusing on?
Transparency. We live in an age where consumers are so much more educated at the point of sale that if you're not transparent, you already lost. So any of these companies, if you look around, these big mammoth national brands that have these proprietary blends, they've, gone bankrupt, they've merged, they sold out.
Right.
They've kind of been under a lot of pressure because, they made a lot of money historically, but now that we have smartphones and somebody can just whip out their phone and double check if a product has the right dose that it's supposed to be efficacious, then how can you compete in a market when you're not giving people that information? So I think for us, that's our number one pride. That's one of our company values, is transparency. And we definitely believe in that. And that's, kind of our battle, so to speak, that we have on our social media, and what kind of our marketing campaigns are centered around is, product education and transparency.
Yeah, I have to agree, obviously, and Rob knows that that's big for me. I was always fully transparent with Species Nutrition, even to this day, because I think that it's important that the consumer know what they're going to buy. And I know you guys put great quality, ingredients in your products. I've looked at them all. Rob, what would you say is the number one seller right now for you?
Well, I would still probably say that Hooligan, the pre-workout, because it's such a kick-ass product and people want to try it, just to experience it. I mean, it's really strong product. That's the reason why, Rich, when he came on board, he was the first one to say, what, guys, we need a non-stim product that is just as good. At first, I was against it, but I caved in because that was the right thing to do. Hooligan is definitely not for everybody. And even people that are about to start using it, I'll always tell them, use half a serving or maybe as low as quarter serving. I mean, you've seen the supplements facts, so they speak highly for themselves. So, yeah, Hooligan would be, I think, number one. But the thing is that I would say probably a close second would be chocolate protein.
Oh, really? Well, yeah, everyone loves chocolate protein. But Rich, let me ask you this about the Hooligan product. What is it that what are the ingredients that people are really looking for when they're getting? Because obviously we know that the pre-workout category is highlighted by guys who like to be stimmed out. They like that feeling of being awake and alert and motivated in the gym. What ingredients do you think are the top ingredients out there right now that people are really looking for when they look for a pre-workout?
Well, I think there's a big gap between what people should be looking for and what people actually look for.
Right.
If I'm being honest, and that only comes from, we do demos at shows and things like that. And I am at the booth a lot of those times and having conversations with customers directly and getting this kind of feedback. And there's just, even in the day and age that we live in, there's a huge gap in knowledge around supplements and what ingredients people really should be looking for. In my opinion, if your pre-workout doesn't have citrulline malate in it and you're trying to do anything regarding bodybuilding, you don't have the right pre-workout. There's a big difference between looking at a pre-workout and having the ingredients you need to have a good workout versus just using a pre-workout as 100% stimulant.
Yeah.
So does your beta-alanine, is it branded? Is it carnosine? Is it anything, your caffeine? What kind of caffeine is in the product? A lot of people don't disclose all of these necessary things to make an educated decision on your product, aka a proprietary blend. So I think that's one thing that stands out. I mean, the first thing you can look at when you flip over the label is see how many grams is in a serving size. So in this day and age, unfortunately in the economy and things like that, and just the demographic of people who buy supplements may or may not have a lot of discretionary income. You look at our serving size, it's 19 grams a serving. Well, the leading proprietary blend is probably 6 grams.
Right.
So people can't really make the connection, and they're not used to really looking for ingredients, in my opinion. But the one ingredient that we're really proud of that's in our Hooligan is the 6 grams of citrulline malate at the 2-to-1 ratio. So you get 4 grams of L-citrulline, and you're getting 2 grams of the malic acid, which is a clinically proven dose.
Right. Yeah.
That's what should be in there. That's what people should be looking for. But unfortunately, what's cheaper? Arginine. So people put their arginine in there and they think it does the same thing, and it's not even close when you look at clinical studies. So that's the ingredient that we'll hang our hat on, that we pay the extra money to put that in there versus just cutting corners with arginine.
And to add to what Rich said, somebody posted yesterday on social media, and again, being very, very competitive, I check everything. It drives me nuts if somebody is remotely close to what we have. 6,000 milligram of citrulline malate and 3,200 milligram of beta-alanine, 1,000 milligram of agmatine. So, all those ingredients are great, but somebody posted yesterday about a certain pre-workout that is like, this is a kick-ass perfect pre-workout, this is the best on the market. Me being, again, competitive, I looked it up, I looked up the supplement facts. The total ingredients were less than 4 grams. It was a proprietary blend. Yes, it did have DMHA in it. It had caffeine in it, which obviously probably the reason why people felt it. But I mean, when you have 4,000 milligram of proprietary blend total, and you have a product that lists everything in exact dosages, I mean, there's a huge difference. And yes, more and more people are getting educated on it. And thank God, few companies, it's not just us. I mean, you were before us. And, they're stating what's in the product, and it's an honest product, and it's something, let's face it, people can be associated with companies that release crappy products, yet quietly, when they get ready for a show or something like that, they don't use those products. Yeah. They use something else. They use another company's products that are actually beneficial to them. So even though they endorse crap, they're not going to use them themselves.
Sure. No,
I'm sure you know of people like that a lot.
Oh, I sell to all the top pros. I know they all buy my products. A lot of them do. So, I understand that. And you know what? It's frustrating because in this modern era, I had a really good pre-workout with my company, and I just discontinued it because I couldn't sell enough of it. I had a very, very loyal base of people that used it because there wasn't a proprietary formula, it wasn't loaded with stimulants, and they wanted those ingredients that enhance endurance and that increase nitric oxide pumps. But I couldn't sell enough of it, and I couldn't warrant, making, 5,000 containers of this stuff because I couldn't move it, and I was getting stuck with a lot of it. So it is frustrating when you're competing against people that are selling, crystal meth, and you're trying to sell a product that really works. So, I commend you guys for, holding your ground and really selling a high quality product. What, Rob, or, Rich, either one of you, what would be the future of Apollon supplements? Like what new products can we expect in 2018?
Well, right now we definitely releasing the new hooligan, which is a non-stem hooligan we call bare knuckle. That's going to be released, I believe, in the next couple of weeks. We're adding another BCA product. Just another flavor, because our pre-workout hooligan strawberry margarita flavor is very, very popular. We decided to release it in our BCA product too. So we're releasing that, and currently I'm working on something that is a formula primarily for endurance athletes and for fighters.
Right.
Because even though a lot of fighters are using hooligan, they like it, but I want something that's going to be specifically for them. There's a lot of people that are doing CrossFit, a lot of people that are doing, a lot of fighters. MMA is probably bigger than ever, and it's growing at unbelievable rate.
Even cyclists,
CrossFits. Everybody could benefit. So it's not just about the pump. It's not just about the gym lifting. It's about other things. So I'm working on an endurance product right now, and hopefully that's going to be released in 2018 as well. And we're going to be adding more flavors. Constantly expanding. I have a great team, and they work non-stop, day and night. We are texting each other. We're doing the best we can. We were not prepared that the Apollon Nutrition is going to be growing at all, because that was not the intention. But now that we saw growth, we want more. Obviously, why not? Obviously, there is demand for a quality product, and we would like to use it to our advantage.
Who came up with the name Hooligan for the product?
I did. I'm a huge soccer fan,
yeah.
So that was natural to me.
Who did the Apollon logo? I love the way it looks. Tremendous.
Well, the Apollon logo, actually, because that's another thing that you criticized before, was
right.
The old look was just a little bit too dungy.
Yeah.
So the name, the guy by the name of Joe Wolge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He helped us out, and he helped with the design. So
I love it.
I'm definitely 100%.
I love it. It's very simplistic, but it really, I don't know. I can't stop looking at it. I love the way it flows.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job. Like, my hat is off to him, because he really did something spectacular. I love our labels, the new labels. Even though I wanted to stick to the old ones, but again, I'm glad that we picked the new one. It looks great.
And Rob, I want to just personally thank you also for being a friend to me over the years and always supporting everything that I did. Even when I was away at jail and I came out, you took care of me, you helped me out. You gave me some opportunities to make some money, and I won't forget that. I consider
that's
you
what
one
friends
of my
are
good
for,
friends.
right? Look, you're helping us out right now, and I'm proud to call you a friend. I'm glad that you are willing to always help me out. And, even when I was getting ready for fights, you made sure to call me crazy, but you still would give me advice on how to cut properly so I don't lose too much strength or anything. Yeah. So, and one more thing in terms of fighting, I was just thinking there are so many douchebags in our industry that I think even if I don't fight in the ring, you might see me fight somewhere at the show.
Oh, there you go. Maybe we can arrange something. Who do you think we can get you in the ring with? Who's like the most wanted guy? Maybe you and Louis Marco. I hear Louis Marco is a mixed martial artist. Maybe you can fight him.
I heard about him, but I don't know him personally. So far he didn't do nothing to me.
Well, no, just maybe we could do like a charity thing.
But since you're asking me, and I will answer the question. If you give me Sean Ray or Vinny Galanti, I'll be very, very happy to do that. And I'll do it for free.
You'll probably kill those guys, but Louis Marco might be a match for you. Now that he's my friend,
I like competition, so why not?
I'm gonna reach out to him. Maybe we can make it work. We can do it. You can set up a big ring. You could have Dan at your gym there be the referee.
That works.
Yep. Yeah, Dan is there, so it's not a problem at all.
He's
and
the
like
best,
I said,
right?
you can be the promoter.
Yeah, he's the best. All right, well, guys, Rich, Rob, thank you so much for taking time and giving us all the information on the Apollon gym, the gym supplementation, the Alex Fedorov story. If you decide to fight again, Rob, always keep me in the loop. Let me know how it goes. Good luck with the line, and I appreciate the support of the RX Muscle website.
Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
All right, that's going to take us to the end of another episode of Live With, brought to you by Apollon Nutrition. Visit ApollonNutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo. We'll see you next time.